In today's video I will show you the best full rare team in Guild of Guardian. If you don't know, now there is an event where you can just utilize the rare Guardians, so this is why I'm making this video. So I will even make two versions. This one is with founders, so it costs a bit like 30-40 bucks, maybe even a bit less. Then I will even make a free-to-play player version, literally, so in another video that will probably be there, where every Guardian will be totally free. But for now, for this video, we have 4 founders, because in the event, the founders even have a buff of attack and even leech, so obviously utilize the most founder possible is better. And then we have Ferulia, just because it's overall a great support. So, let's go on the right there, we can see we have 1 tank, 2 warrior, 1 support, and 1 ranger. So it's kind of balanced as a team, when instead if we check the domain, we don't have actually any 3 different Guardian of a domain, so we don't have any particular buff. If not, we have 2 Solas, so these 2 Solas will give us a buff. But now let's go check literally each different Guardian, what they does and why they are in the team. Obviously they are in the team because they are the best rare Guardian, but what is their purpose in the team? So let's start from one of the 2 frontliner, that is Umbar, that essentially is a warrior, not a tank, but it has a skill that gives to him more health, that is the passive combat veteran. Essentially it increases the defense of 5% every 10 seconds, or now, since it's kinda easy to max those skills, is 9% every 10 seconds. So like in an endless run is pretty juicy, because those defenses stack up, and I mean, you will see the difference of having this one as a frontliner. I mean, the choice is not really big in this team full rare, and this is actually a really pretty frontline, not as good as this one, but we will check him. The ultimate instead is Wounding Blow. Essentially, it attack an enemy dealing 300% of the physical damage, or 360 in this case, and it even reduces the defense. And this is really important, because if, for example, you reduce the defense of the boss, every of your other Guardian make more damage. And I mean, 50% of reducing defense is actually really a lot. So, overall, you got a more tanky warrior, and it even debuff their boss. So it's actually pretty juicy. But now let's go check the other frontliner, that is Arcus. Arcus is probably the best rare Guardian, I would say. I mean, this is for sure the best frontliner in rare. Why is it so good? So essentially, let's start saying that it has even higher health. It is obviously the one with the highest health in this team, because it is the only tank. And even because it has a really good skill, Inner Strength, that is the passive. Essentially, it maxes the HP to 60%. So it's actually really a lot. You will see the difference for sure with the other rare Guardian. Is really tanky. And even the ulti is really good. That is Shield Bash. Essentially, it slams the nearest enemy with its shield, and it deals 300% of the damage, or 360, and it even applies DZ that essentially the enemy can't attack. So it's almost like a stun. So you stun, you make damage, and is literally the best tank, because it has a really huge amount of health. So as a frontliner, this is for sure the best Guardian you want. But those frontliners need health. And this is where Ferulia comes. So Ferulia is for sure the best rare healer in my opinion. Like, it has a huge amount of health. It's like the flicks of the rare, we could say. Like, Nature Gift is her ultimate, and essentially it's channeling energy to the lowest HP, so the one that essentially is dying, and it heals for 620 of her attack. Bro, 680 at this level, like, it's crazy. It's literally almost fulfilled that Guardian that is dying. So it's really important, even most importantly, if you have Arcus on the front line that has a lot of health, so you can really almost refill every time this guy, and this is really important for keep with the level, with the various room of the run. So the healed ally also has 20% of increased defense for the next 7 seconds. So even this, like I said, like this, but it's pretty juicy, like 20% defense for 7 seconds. And then we have even another heal. That is, it's, as you can see, Ferulia is not passive, just double heal. That, I mean, is really good. In this case, target the lowest HP ally another time and recover their HP of 500% of attack over 5 seconds. So this is like more fast while this is like a longer healing because over 5 seconds, but it's up to 900. This is crazy. It's even higher than this one, but this one is faster. So like if someone is dying, you want to do that. So after those 2 tank and the healer, you need even damage for win. So let's go before from Rey, that is the other warrior. That is not the biggest damage pusher because we will see this other, but it's still a really solid balance from damage and health. So the ultimate is Flame Dance, where Rey summons 6 clone that attack the enemy target and deal 60% of attack as physical damage, and while doing that, Rey is even immortal. So this is pretty juicy even because it's an ultimate, so you can decide when utilize this skill. So obviously you gotta utilize this when she is dying, at least if it's pretty near. Obviously if she is full, you just use this for damage. But I mean, it just increases damage, it's pretty juicy. You like this Guardian push a solid amount of damage, and even Combustion is really good. Actually, essentially is a passive, is really good. Is a passive where 50% of the chance of your attack, so essentially one out of 2 attack will apply this. It applies Burn that deal 50% of attack as true damage in 5 seconds. So obviously this is really good versus the boss or versus the really big tanky because it makes true damage. So you will see that their health will go lower faster. And then we have the last Guardian, and then we go to make a try run. That is Strider. So Strider is essentially the only ranger in this team and is the main DPS of this team, so the main damage. You want for sure to put this like in the most defensive position. You don't want this to take damage essentially. And her ultimate is Tracking Arrow, where Strider jump into the air and it gains immunity to the controls, so still can take damage, but it doesn't get stunned and so on. And it makes 250 damage, or 325 in this case, as physical damage and mark even the target. If this spell essentially hit a market target, it makes other 150% of the damage. So essentially, if this spell hit 2 times in a row the same target, it makes more damage. Pretty easy. And already is a lot of damage, 325 of attack of a ranger that has even high attack. Another thing is the passive that is Far Shot. Essentially, the further is the enemy, it increases the damage. So 4% for meter up to 100%, and at level 5 is 12%. So actually, if you put pretty far, is really good. Like, is actually really good. Oh, and a really important thing I didn't say is that it prioritizes the target further. So this is really important because generally the further targets are like the ones with the biggest damage. So the fact that these one target them and not the tank in the front line is actually really important.